Hello, everyone. I want to go over how the mod system works in the portal. Obviously, I've been doing this since we had the portal at the beginning of Edge of Fate, but I didn't completely understand how the mod system works. So, right now, I'm at, I want to say, if I put on all my max armor, I'm at 455. So, in terms of the power grind, if you want to level up as efficiently as possible, you have to put on the right number of mods on here in order to get your power level to come up. So right now I can get a max of 458 with a tier 5 drop. But that means that you have to put on all the modifiers. So what I'm going to do is start from scratch to show you guys what I did. Okay, so this is what you're going to see if you go into solo ops and you pull up the menu. Your grade is B. This is your reward score forecast. This is the tier, which this will be tier 4, and this is a power level at 456. So like I said, if I put on all my max gear right now, I'm at 455. If you leave the grade like this, I'm only going to increase by 1 power level for this particular drop. Now the modifiers are over here. You see this number in the lower left hand corner is number 4. That's how many points I have right now. 4 points will get me to this letter grade, this reward score forecast. There's a tier, there's a power level. Now you can even, I believe you can take this off as well. So now when you go back to modifier overview, you don't have any points on there. So what I usually do is I'll leave it, and you notice that you also drop to a tier 3. You drop to 455. So it's a point system that is being used. So you would come here. This is already selected most of the time when I open up this menu. So equipment locked activity is worth 4 points. Now if I want to increase the score above that, you can go to Bane's. Let's say that I want to use this one. Now see the number in the lower left hand corner is 5. So now you have 9 points total. You go back to the main menu. Here's 4 points here. And now you have another 5 points here. So that's 9 points. And 9 points is going to get you a letter A. Your reward score forecast goes up. You still have a tier 4 here. And now your power is going to drop at 458. If you want to go above that, you have to add on more points. So let's go to the next one. Let's add on 4 points here. So now you come back to the main menu, the modifier overview. You got 5, 9, 13 points total. Okay, so 13 points is going to get you an A plus tier 4 drop at 458. Okay, but yesterday I just realized that you can go even higher than this. So if you go to the next column, let's say you add on, let's just go 2 points. You add on 2 points, right? So now look what happened. The tier 4 drop changed to tier 5. So if you take this off, that's tier 4. If you put any 2 points back on, that's going to give you a tier 5 drop. So again, go back to the main menu, the modifier overview. You got 5, 9, 11, 15. So if you put any combination of mods together and they total 15 points, A plus, here's your reward score forecast. It drops as a tier 5 and you're still at 458. So at a certain point, you can't get higher than that, right? It's going to be capped, but you can raise the tier on here to a 5. Now, the next thing I want to go over is what if you want to add on some positive modifiers on here. So keep in mind you have 15 points, right? You come down here to boon and event modifiers. And instead of adding on a negative mod, you want to add something positive. So you notice that all of these in the corner, in the left-hand corner, um, lower left-hand corner, you have 1 point, but the arrow is pointing down. So now when you add on, like I'll add on Arc Surge, you dropped from a tier 5 back down to a tier 4, right? If you take that away, you go back to a tier 5, but any one of these is going to drop you a point, okay? So you go back to modifier overview. You still have your point total up here, so 5, 9, 11, 15, right? But now you drop to 14 points. And so that's what took the tier 5 drop away. But you can go crazy and add on a couple of more positive mods that'll help you get through the content easier. But now if you go back here, again, you have 15 points up here, right? But now you have to take away 3 points. So now this is calculated 15, take away 3, you have 12 points. So you need 15 points to get the A plus and the tier 5 drop. So you can come back up here and you need to add on, you need to add at least 3 points to get that back. So you can do that a couple ways. You can add on a negative mod that has 4 points in the corner. Like all of this has 4 points, 4 points. You got 4 points here. You add on any one of those, it's going to make up for the 3 points that you lost, right? Or you can go, here's one that's 2 points, and then you add on another one that's 2 points. And there's your tier 5 again. So now you come back to modifier overview. You've got 5, 9, 11, 13, 15, 19. So now you have 19 in negative modifiers, and then you take away 3. So 19 take away 3 is 16. So now you have enough to keep the A plus grade, the highest reward score forecast, basically. And then there's your tier 5, and you're still at 458. So you just play around with those. It's going to vary how many points you need based on where you are on this track. It's just going to vary. Okay. So If you're just beginning, like if this is your first time jumping into the portal system, this is where you start on normal. The activity power cap is 10 points or 10 power, and your enemies during that activity is going to match. They're also going to be 10, right? Once you go up to advanced, you have to have at least 100 power level to get to advanced. But your power level is going to be capped at 90. So even though your guardian can be 100 points, 200 points, whatever, when you run an activity on the advanced level, the game is going to bring your power level down to 90 no matter what. So, like I'm at 452 right now, or 455. If I play an activity on advanced difficulty, the game is going to bring my power level all the way down to 90. And then all the combatants in that activity are going to be 100. Okay. Then you move up to expert. Expert, the enemies are power level 200, but your power cap for your character is going to be 185, so you'll be 15 points below. And then it continues with master. Combatant power at 300, you're going to be capped at 280. Grandmaster combatant power 400, you're going to be capped at 375. And then you get to ultimate, the combatant power is 500, you're going to be capped at 470. Okay. So this just means that the combatants or the enemies in that activity are going to be 30 power level above you. So of course that just makes the activity harder. So you notice that on normal, the power cap and the combatant power are the same. Advanced, you're minus 10. Expert, you're minus 15. Master, you're minus 20. Grandmaster, you're minus 25. And then ultimate, you're minus 30. So that's to say, the higher your power level gets, the harder the activity is going to be in order for you to progress. Now, you can run these other difficulties if you want, but they're not going to help you increase your power level at all. Like this one, you'll get a tier 1 drop and it'll be 200, you know. And then you notice also that you don't have a lot of modifiers here that you can add. Like if you add everything, you get 1 point for this, you get 1 point for this one. Um, there's a time limit, and then you have some positive mods on here that you can add. They're just going to bring your score down even more. But there is no way to really boost this at all in order to help you with the power grind. So right now I'm at 451. Like I said, so what I'm doing right now is I'm playing on Grandmaster and I'm adding a bunch of mods to get me to the A plus score and then a tier 5 drop. What I could do at this point is go to Ultimate, but if you look up here at my power is 452. The combatant power is 500. So that's a minus 48 points, which is too much. You know what I mean? So I could play it like this. I mean, add on a bunch of positive mods, but it's still going to be really hard content. for sure to get through. So, what I'm going to do at this point in my journey specifically is I'm going to continue to play Grandmaster until I get to 470. Once I get to 470, I'll increase the difficulty to Ultimate because anything above 470, the game is not going to count. Um, you're going to be capped at 470. So 470 to if your character is at 550, 515, 5 anything like your character can be 500, the game is going to pull you back down to 470 when you run this activity. And there is no way for you to boost that up. You can put on positive modifiers, but they're not going to increase your power level. So that's all there is to it. Now, it used to be in the past, before we start using the portal, the higher your power level is, the easier the activities got. But now it's, you know, complete opposite. The higher your power level goes, the the harder the content gets because you have to add on a lot of negative modifiers to be able to progress with the power grind. Now, the other thing I will say at this point, or at a certain point during the power grind, the quick play lists are just no good because when you click on them, look at your grade, it's a C, you'll get a tier 1 drop, and that drop is going to be 400. So that's not going to help me get to 550. And then you can't add on modifiers at all. So it's a certain point, quick play is not going to help you um, anymore. So that's in solo ops. It's also the same in the fire team that has matchmaking. You click on here. My grade is a C tier 1 drop at 400. So, and you can't add on modifiers. Now, with the fire team ops, if you have matchmaking, if you play something with matchmaking and fire team ops, you have to make sure that your team gets enough points to get the A or the A plus rating. Because if you click on anything that has matchmaking on it, it's gonna tell you that this is your score, right? Um, and then you get a tier 4, 458 in my case, but you cannot customize any of this stuff. It's locked, right? If you go over here and click on customize, this is gonna take you out of matchmaking and put you into solo mode so you can run this solo. But if you want to run something that's match made, it's going to lock everything in there for you, and that's what you're going to be playing as, you know. Um, Now, again, you do have to be careful because look at your grade, A plus 458 tier 4. Now watch what happens when I launch the activity. Your grade drops down to a C plus tier 3 455, right? So you have to make sure that your team completes everything um, in terms of like you'll have like certain objectives that you have to complete during the mission, make sure your team completes those objectives. Otherwise, your score is gonna drop even more, right? Um, so that's the last thing that I have. I hope you guys got something out of it. And
Aerial reconnaissance shows that Maya has consolidated their
yeah,
hold over the area.
everyone take
Let's
care. So
begin
here's your
chipping away,
objective
shall we?
Stay
over
on the
there.
move.
So keep an eye
And
on
if you
that
hear
part
Maya's voice,
and make
run.
sure that you complete all the objectives so that you can get the correct score and the grade at the end. Okay, everybody take care.